Well, hello. Welcome to Bible study today. So, today we are going to be taking a look at Matthew chapter 25, verses 1 to 13. And this is the story or the parable of the 10 bridesmaids. Um, and it's a really interesting text, so we're going to just sort of jump right in, and then I got some information that I kind of want to reflect on and a few questions for us to take a look at together. So we're going to be looking at Matthew 25, verses 1 to 13. Then the kingdom of heaven will be like this. 10 bridesmaids took their lamps and went to meet the bridegroom. 5 of them were foolish, and 5 were wise. When the foolish took their lamps, they took no oil with them, but the wise took flasks of oil with their lamps. As the bridegroom was delayed, all of them became drowsy and slept. But at midnight there was a shout, "Look! Here is the bridegroom, come out to meet him." Then all those bridesmaids got up and trimmed their lamps. The foolish said to the wise, "Give us some of your oil, for our lamps are going out." But the wise replied, "No, there will not be enough for you and for us. You had better go to the dealers and buy some for yourselves." And while they went to buy it, the bridegroom came. And those who were ready went with him into the wedding banquet, and the door was shut. Later, the other bridesmaids came also, saying, "Lord, Lord, open to us." But he replied, "Truly I tell you, I do not know you. Keep awake, therefore, for you know neither the day nor the hour." So, this parable, as I said before, is called the 10 Bridesmaids. And basically, I think when you look at this parable, what this parable is doing is it's characterizing Christianity, our faith, and our sense of discipleship as a waiting religion. That ultimately what we are all doing as believers is that we are waiting the fullness of the kingdom of God, for the kingdom of God to be realized here on earth. Jesus promised Christian hope for new realities to come into existence. And Christian faith involves waiting with confidence. That's a sense of what it means for us to be as Christians, is that the kingdom of God has really yet to be fully realized. So if you kind of look at this story just a little bit more, what's happening? The 10 bridesmaids await a bridegroom's arrival. And when the wedding festivities will begin, when fullness will arrive, right? But the wait proves to be really difficult for them. As usually it is for people that have really high expectations. I mean, you can just sort of imagine this sense of expectation of waiting for this wedding to actually occur. And so it lasts deep into the night. And when you look at the 10 bridesmaids, they're almost all identical. They're all bridesmaids. They were all invited. They all want to see the bridegroom, and they all wait until the night. But here's the difference, that some of the bridegrooms, or of the bridesmaids, fall asleep, while others of them stay awake. And so that's really kind of interesting when you take a look at the text. And so you've got the 5 that sort of fall asleep. They're not doing anything to be prepared or to be ready. And then you have these other 5 who took all of the necessary steps to be ready for when the bridegroom did arrive. So the other ones, however, find out that when the bridegroom does arrive and they're not ready for that they have to go off and buy new oil, and as a result of that, they end up missing out or being excluded from the banquet. And so, as you kind of think about that, it's an important message for us as Christians, is to recognize that the kingdom of God has yet to be realized here on earth. And so we have 2 choices, really. We can either do nothing to be prepared for that, or we can be prepared. We can take the steps necessary to ready ourselves for when that happens. And I think it happens for us in small, different ways, that throughout our lives, the kingdom of God becomes more and more realized. The reality of God's presence in our lives, the reality that God is here on earth with us, guiding us, giving us everything that we need, there are moments in our life where we get glimpses of that kingdom of God. And so it sort of harkens the question of what are we doing while we wait for that? And so I thought just 3 questions that we could reflect on today. And the first one is, there something about the kingdom of God that you are waiting to be revealed to you? Take a moment and just sort of reflect on your life and think about, is there something about God's love, God's presence that you're waiting, that you've got questions about, that you're waiting to be revealed for you? And so take some time and reflect on that. But then also, how is your community of faith or individual relationships, how have they helped you to grow while you are waiting? How have they helped you to get prepared for that, to be revealed? And then the third question is, what are some things that you can do while you wait? What are some things that you can do to be better prepared for the time that that happens? So take some time and just reflect on those 3 questions and on this text. I think it's a really interesting one this week, and especially given the context that we're in right now this week, where we are awaiting the results of an election. It'd be interesting to kind of think about what are some ways that this whole idea of waiting for the kingdom of God to be revealed, how is that happening in the sense of the election as well? That might be another angle for you to take a look at. So thanks so much for joining me for Bible study today, and I hope that you have a great day.